And we live. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give you my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not gonna happen this video, but that's okay. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Beth. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, good afternoon. Like the video, leave a comment if you're watching after we are no longer live. It helps the algorithm, and I'm happy to be here.
Yes, guys, make sure you like the video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I have a few new subscribers. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Watch Your Mouth Reviews. So to give everyone an explanation of how this works, me and Mrs. Beth on our reality TV reviews split them. So tomorrow we're going to be on Mrs. Beth's channel doing Love and Hip Hop Miami. Mrs. Beth also has the TLC channel as well. We so far are doing 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. And then also we're going to have Love After Lockup. But I also wanted to address one more thing before we start this live. So I got a couple of DMs of people asking me about this. So I wanted to give clarification. Yes, I do cover Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Me and Mrs. Best on Mrs. Best channel, which is why it's important to subscribe to her channel. If you're not subscribed to her, it is in my description box. I post a link up on there. You guys see this. We did a review on this on Mrs. Best channel. It
I
was
can't
about
see the screen. What's on the screen? I'm on my phone.
no, it's okay. I have the Cult of the Real Housewives with Mary's picture up on the screen. So
Uh, yeah.
I got a couple of DMs asking if I was going to cover this. So I'm kind of cleaning that up now since we're on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So yeah, I wanted just to kind of get you guys to understand that this was already done on Mrs. Best channel. So if you're interested in watching our opinions on that, you will go to her channel, watch the video, subscribe. Don't leave here though, because we still got to do a review on this Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But yes, after this, if you want to know what we thought, definitely go ahead to give you kind of a snippet. And I'm going to ask Mrs. Best to do the same. My honest overall opinion is that this didn't change anything for me. It did not change anything for me. It did not warrant any news. If anything, I'm not side-eyeing Mary. I'm side-eyeing Robert Sr. That's where I stand on it. Mrs. Best, do you care to give a minute of your time to discuss your, like, a small opinion on it? How did you feel?
Um, I think every person who is saying that, oh, this is just how the Pentecostal church is, y'all are all full of shit. I think that every person that is saying, okay, they still like Mary on the show, I think that is fair. Mary did some bad things. She did. She did deplorable things that no one should do, that go against the ethics and morals that most of us in American society are okay with. However, uh, Robert Sr. is the one who took over the church and ran the church before Mary could even do anything. So the way that it is aligned with him. But I believe when you're married, you are one. And I believe they ended up together because they probably both have a sinister heart. But just like with the Mormons, I don't think nothing's going to happen. So we got it out. That's all we can do. This information came out years ago. So it's like we
Yep.
can only do so much now.
Exactly. But I did this to make sure I clarify because I didn't respond to your DMs. I'm horrible at doing that. I'm so sorry. If you ever DM me, it does take me a minute to get back to you. But since I was going live today and we're talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I wanted to address it. I wanted to address that, yes, we already have done this. So, moving on. So now we have Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This is the season finale. And when I tell y'all, I am glad they are going off. We just got a three-part reunion and we are done because I'm telling you, the way they started is not the way they are finishing. This episode was good, but I've seen them do better. Like, I've seen a better wow factor with them in other seasons. So, the episode actually opens up with Meredith making herself a cappuccino. Her and Mary are in the kitchen talking, about, you know, how they're doing and everything. Angie walks in, and Angie is more bruised than she was when she got hit with the tray full of food. Her lip is swollen, she has a cut. It's bad, and Mary was just shocked by it. She was like, "Oh my God, did you?" She goes, "Brahma," because Brahma was walking. "Brahma, did you see this?" And Brahma was like, "Oh yeah, I see it. I sleep with it every day, Mary. I see it. Trust me." And so, they were like, Angie, at this point, you need to travel with a life size, like, cold pack. You need to up your insurance policy. You need to do something because you always getting hurt and everything. So, Meredith is offering to make everybody coffee. And people, especially Heather and Whitney, they're in their corner talking about how that's so odd because Meredith has been freaking out on them, joy, and then now she wants to be joyous, making everybody coffee and everything. It's just weird. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They don't understand what's going on, why is she doing this. It is absolutely insane, but they're going to run with it because they rather have the nice Meredith than the one that is going around just being belligerent. Bronwyn stops over to Mary's room and she tells Mary, hey, so I had a conversation with Meredith after we all had went to sleep. So the producers play a flashback. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning where Meredith, Mary, and Bronwyn were in the living room talking. And so they all had decided to go to sleep. So when Meredith got to her room, she had texted Bronwyn and she goes, hey, can I come to your room or can you come to mine? We need to talk. So Bronwyn goes to her room. And when Bronwyn tells Mary is that, she said that she was, jittery. She, was paranoid. She didn't know what the girls, saying or doing. And then she asked what happened at that lunch. And Mary is shocked. Now, to reiterate another conversation, it kind of happened off camera, which I wish did not, because I kind of felt like this would have been fun to put in and maybe taking out something else. They actually had a lady come by who actually writes short plays and films and stuff to make a movie about all the ladies, which I thought was a funny idea. So she interviews each one of the ladies about how they feel about the other one. And you had Lisa talking about, oh, well, I'm this, I'm that, I'm intuitive, I'm a Sagittarius, so this is how it is. I bet you I can guess your sign. She goes, you're a Capricorn. No, you're a Libra. No, you're a Taurus. No, you're she goes, you're a Cancer. And the lady was like, no, 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 and no. She goes, well, what is your sign? She goes, I'm a Pisces. Pisces. Yeah, I actually was going to say that. Pisces. And I'm looking at the screen like, Lisa, if you don't go somewhere. But all the ladies pretty much gave their spiel. We didn't really get to see much of it. We just saw, them kind of describing themselves, the ladies, yada, yada, yada. So, Mrs. Best, we have a lot to catch up on because I saw you jumped out and had to jump back in. That's okay. So, I have a couple of questions for you before we move on to the next scene. The first question I have for you is, do you think that Meredith is using Bronwyn to gather information on the ladies, or do you think Bronwyn is voluntarily giving Meredith that information?
Um, it's probably Bromlin just giving the information. I think the problem with this cast is I've stopped caring because every season it's essentially the same thing. Who's giving information here? Who's telling people what I told them? They all do the same thing.
Pretty much. Yeah. Hi, Naya. Hi, Keywan. Thank you guys for being here. I needed to say hi, y'all. Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you, but trying to get the show going here. But the next thing I need to ask you is, do you think Angie's idea of the ladies writing the stage play was a good idea, or do you think that this, knowing how the ending thing happened, do you think it was a bad idea?
It's a bad idea in general. It could have been cute if they would have, like, if Angie would have just prepared the lady with the ladies' personalities from a non-biased standpoint, but of course no one on this cast can do that, then I would have enjoyed it. But this was essentially just them again for the 4th season in a row redoing the gathering at a table and getting at everyone, showing everyone how they're perceived and who people think their true self is. In the beginning I was like, oh, this is cute, but after watching the episode I was like, okay, this was unoriginal and tired and repeated.
I agree 100%. So we're going to move on to the next scene. So the next scene, Meredith is sitting on the balcony and Brown happens to spot her. So Brown says, oh, hey, Meredith, can I talk to you for a second? And she goes, yeah. And so when Brown reaches her, she goes, I just feel really uneasy about our night and everything. And the fact that, you asked me about lunch. Meredith said, I didn't ask you that, Brown got stuck and her mouth open. She was paused. She was like, Meredith, you 100% asked me about what happened at lunch. Brahman, no, I did not. I did not ask you that, Brahman. I did not ask anything of that. She goes, Brahman was like, Meredith, I'm not making this up. Like, you totally asked me what happened at dinner because you said you were paranoid, you were freaking out, you were doing all of this, and you just wanted to know closure. And Meredith goes, Brahman, that did not happen. Brahman, it did not happen. So in Meredith's confessional, she said that Brahman was actually the one that came to her feeling nervous about the play. So Meredith did probe. She did admit she probed and said, could it have been anything that may have happened in the trip? Could it have been your lunch? Could it have been everything? So she didn't quite say those words exactly, but Meredith did say that she did allude and probe Brahman to see if maybe it was something having to do with maybe some conversations that came either from other ladies or maybe something she had heard. So I have to ask Mrs. Best because I kind of know. Here's the thing. I'll tell you guys where I land on this, but I want to get Mrs. Best's opinion first. Mrs. Best, do you believe the conversation happened the way Brahman said it happened, or do you believe the conversation happened the way that Meredith said it happened? And I'm asking y'all in the chat too.
I think the conversation happened the way Brahman said it happened. And the reason I think that is because whether Meredith does or does not do something, she responds in this way. So when you always respond the same way or walk away, I'm going to side with the person who, no matter what we say, at the very least can be forthright and somewhat accountable. So I do believe Brahman. What I don't believe about that Brahman is saying that happened is I don't believe that Meredith came at her maliciously. I just don't. I don't. They were just getting along and having a whole kiki in the past. What was that? That Below Deck episode. And since then, these two have been cool and getting close. So I don't think Meredith was being malicious. But I think that Bronwyn is easily influenced. I do still like Bronwyn, but I think she's easily influenced and at times has a habit to go with the majority versus what she actually feels. And then she speaks how she feels about stuff way too late. So
I agree. Now, here is my thing. I actually think it's a mosh posh of both. I think that the conversation happened in both elements. For me, I think Meredith is very careful on how she uses her words. So remember, y'all, Meredith, once again, as we say, Meredith is an attorney. They're very careful with how they ask questions, and they're very careful about their words. So when you say a question to them, or when you say they had done something or accuse them of saying something, if you don't word it the exact way they word it, then it didn't happen. Then it didn't happen. And I think Meredith, to me, has adopted that whole outlook of, well, you didn't word it the way I did, so it didn't happen. That's not what happened. I didn't ask you that, Robin. That's not how I asked you. So I do think in hindsight, I can believe both of their stories. And I know y'all saying, James, you're playing both sides. James, you're playing the fence. It's not that I'm playing the fence or playing both sides. I just know how calculated Meredith is. And I know that Meredith tends to do this, where if you don't word things how she worded it, then when you bring it to her in the same context, same parameters, because you didn't go the verbatim way she said it, Meredith will instantly say, that is not true. That is a lie. I did not say it. Most lawyers do that. So for me, I feel like I believe both of them, but I'm going to get on Brahman in a second because I'm not that I'm leaning more towards Meredith, but there's something that Brahman did in that van that made me look at her completely different. So I'm just saying, I kind of see both sides. I do. So we're going to pay attention to the chat before I move on. Naya, I don't know if I read your comment or not, but I'm going to read it here anyway. If Meredith will do anything, she will deflect and disengage. She will. Absolutely. Even if Brahma's version is accurate, I don't see the big deal the ladies were talking about her. That's going to be my point when I bring up, because Lexi, we're here. I got you. We here. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. I think Meredith wanted to know what they talked about. Simple is that I do too. I do as well, which is why when I get to that van theme and Meredith's response, let me know exactly what I need to know. But I'm going to get on Brahman because I think Brahman We'll get there. Just give me a moment, y'all. Hey, Rustic, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. So the ladies get ready because they're going to meet Angie's cousin. So they get up there and she says, I'm excited about my cousin. You know, he heard that we were here, so he jumped on the ferry and made sure he met us and everything. This is my dad's nephew. It's going to be so awesome. And once they arrived, he was happy. He actually reminded me, I don't know if anybody watched Jersey Shore, but he reminded me of Uncle Nino. He did. He reminded me of him so much. Not so much the behavior, but just the ambiance and his energy reminded me of that. But he said, oh my gosh, all of you are just so beautiful. And then I'm looking at him like, who you looking at? Because the one you had your arm around the entire time. There's a lot that beg to differ, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder, y'all. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What may be sexy to him, it may not be sexy for everybody else. But I'm gonna say this: when they sat at that table, he had that arm around Heather the majority of the time. And I said, "Look at Heather," and they actually look cute together too. Mrs. Best, do you think Angie's cousin and Heather made a cute couple?
No.
I knew that was coming. Y'all had to get her. I knew that was coming. I'm asking everybody in the chat, do y'all think Heather and Angie's cousin would have made a cute couple? Y'all go ahead and put that answer, but y'all be nice. Don't be saying no just because you got flip side. Just give your honest opinion like y'all always do. But he's giving them the backstory of, you know, their grandfather, how their grandfather traveled to the States in the 1900s to go to Salt Lake City. So pretty much, you know, their immigration has been known to be in Salt Lake City. That's pretty much what I got from it. Angie asked, you know, does he remember her mother? And he said, absolutely, I do. And Angie said that she does not have that connection with her mother's family. She doesn't know where her mother's village is. She's never been. So, you know, she, you know, yearns for that. She wants Electra to be a part of that. And once again, Angie, I get it. But we have told you this time and time again. Electra has to come into this identity for herself. The more you force these things upon her, the more she's going to rebel and focus on Sean's side, whatever that is. Because she's already got one foot over there before she got a foot on your side. And that's because I think you keep forcing these things on her. So the moment she mentioned Electra's name, I said, this is something else that is not going to go over well. She has to yearn for that herself. But that was pretty much the conversation about, you know, the cousin, the backstory of Angie's family. They all thought he was cute. They all thought he was, you know, just a fun time. Would you like to go over anything in this scene, Mrs. Best?
I just want to say that I empathize with Angie because I can't imagine what it would be like to have to grow up without a mother. However, I want her to talk about something outside of Grease and her mom. I feel like every single season, this is all Angie talks about. Can we see you running your business in the background? Can we see you interacting with your husband? I feel like Angie uses Grease and the passing of her mother as a storyline. And I'm not saying that her feelings about her mom are not valid, because I think that they are, but I think that she discusses it way too much on this show. At some point, go see a grief counselor, do some therapy on TV, anything but this. And I would have preferred to see her ask about her mother. Maybe they could have given her like a private scene with her uncle. But I wouldn't bring my family around these bitches, but you know.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I feel like that's something that she should have did privately. But, you know, she got to make sure she keep her storyline going. Didn't work this year, but that's okay. Rose City, no, Naya said that lawyer lingo talking about Meredith yet. Rose City said Meredith might also be feeding Bronwyn to see if she can trust her. No, she cannot. I think that was probably more evident, even though Meredith used it to her advantage, which I'll get to in a minute. But I think that's more evident with how she moves with the other ladies. I don't think you can trust Bronwyn. So y'all saying no to Heather and the cousin. Okay. Heather, I was just looking out for you, girl. I really was. I thought y'all looked cute together. He had his arm all around you. He seemed to like your energy and shit. So that's why I said. And Heather didn't tell him to move or get up off of me. So that's all I'm gonna say. Andre Shannon said, I met Brahma Newport. She's a nice woman. She talked too much. She just became a citizen of the United States of America. Congratulations to Bronwyn. I've also heard from other people she does talk a lot, which I don't, I talk a lot. So, I mean, that ain't really.
Can we make citizenship as easy as it was for Bronwyn for other people who might look a little bit different, who've been here just as long? Just saying.
Yeah.
I'll be quiet. I'm from California, y'all. I can't help it.
Couldn't agree more, especially with what's going on today. If y'all haven't heard the news, I suggest go watch it. That husband and his hat ain't coming back. She talking about Sean. I heard the rumors, but I don't know if I need a reliable source on that. I need somebody a little bit more concrete of evidence because I'm hearing that buzz all over the place that allegedly Angie and Sean have separated. I need more evidence. And I'm gonna say allegedly.
The evidence is all in your face. The evidence is all in your face. When people are in a relationship that is not fixing to end, they are affectionate. Even if he don't want to be on camera, he'll come on camera a little bit to acknowledge her. He went from filming here and there, like the other husbands on this show, to not filming at all. And then based on Wife Swap, which I covered, y'all can check it out on my channel. Based on that Housewives Wife Swap, it seemed like Electra and him was happy to have her ass up out the house. So I'm just saying, I wouldn't put it past her. When people married or not, marriage does not mean that affection and sex and all of that stops. It definitely does not, unless your shit is toe up. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are separated and just still living in the same house.
It could be. I don't know. I feel
like they've been like intimate or legit, like since she's been on this show, like the duration of the show.
It does seem like it's an indebted loyalty versus love and relation. It does give me that. But at the same time, Angie did have some questionable behaviors on previous seasons that led me to believe that something ain't right. And I think it was more so when she had that man lift her about that van. I thought she was doing way too much as a married woman, but okay, I digress. So we're going to move on. So the ladies leave, and Meredith tells Lisa silently while the other girls are in the van that she doesn't understand why they needed to all come, like why they needed to all be there. That did nothing for her. She was not engaged with it. She wasn't listening to the cousin. Meredith was in her own world at this point. And the other ladies are overhearing, getting everything, and they notice that Bronwyn has, a little tension when it comes to Meredith. So they wanted to address that. And Meredith was like, yeah, I'll address it. I went to Meredith, giving her, my information that I had, because she had asked me what happened at the lunch. And Meredith was like, no, Bronwyn, that's not what I did. This is where we disconnect, because overall, I did not ask that. And Brian would say, you know what, Meredith, you can sit up there and act like you didn't do that. I know what you did, and I know what I heard, I know what I felt, and I know what you said. So you can act like I'm over here just making shit up in my head all you want to. The fact of the matter is, you have used me on numerous occasions where I have fucked up friendships in this group over you, and I'm sick of it. You're not going to gaslight me anymore, Meredith, and that's why you're over there quiet, because you know I'm telling the truth. And I said, Bronwyn, I understood your message, but as much as you want to point the finger at Meredith, you need to point the finger at you too. Because at the end of the day, you should have stayed neutral. You should have stayed neutral. You should have listened, understood, and wait for this shit to play out. But what you did was you got information from Whitney, ran it back over to Meredith, for whatever reason, because you said that, the things that Whitney was saying were damaging. No, you never let Whitney say, you never told Whitney, hey, you going too far. I don't think it's all of that. And I'm going to go tell Meredith what you just said, because I feel like she has the right to know. You didn't do any of that. So it was fine then, where it was made to look like everybody else was the fool. But now that she made you into a fool, now you want to have something to say, when at the luncheon, it was you that said that you saw stuff with another woman. It wasn't the other ladies, and I don't know why you didn't tell her that at that moment, to say, hey, I may have mentioned at that luncheon, this is my conscious self-call.
Bronwyn is just as messy as the rest of them. I think she came into the show wanting to be authentic, but when the person who you knew before the show is the first person to turn on you. I think she's a quick study, especially if she survived in the world of business in the Bay Area. I feel like Bronwyn, we're not going to see loyalty with her amongst these ladies. And I really think it's just because the timeline of when she came into the shows, when all this right after Reality Von Tees, and then all these heifers is talking to blogs, helping to share stories, people mid deep in beefs. So I don't know. Like Naya said, brownie points for the speech. But for me, it was just like, your speech don't land and it don't really mean shit if it don't make sense. If she doesn't, if Bronwyn would just be quiet and stop running to somebody else every time somebody tells her something, then she would never have problems. And nobody's going to trust anybody that's like that. If every time I talk to someone, I go call a different person and tell them what I talked to this other someone about, that's messy. What is the reason? And she keeps doing it. I don't understand it. And then she'll share a little bit of her life and information and then pull it back. So I don't know. I'm tired of Bronwyn. I feel like she's just gonna fall into the bad habits that the existing cast members, with the exception of Mary, have. I'm just tired of this cast. They need to switch up the cast so that when new people come in, they're not forced to feel like they have to pick a side, because she shouldn't even feel that way.
No, she shouldn't. And see, this is where you see the real Bronwyn versus the facade that she came up with last season as someone who was mouthy, was ready to take over the overdog of the whole situation. Bronwyn, realistically, a lot of her insecurities show. And this was one time that it did. The fact that she even said out her own mouth in the episode, she doesn't have loyalty to anybody, not to herself, not to her. She doesn't have loyalty. The moment she gets something, she steals it. And we saw little instances of this. I think at the time, it didn't matter. Like, one instance I'll give you is when she was at Old Girl House last season when it came to, oh no, this was Meredith's party. Meredith's bar mitzvah. Sorry, not Old Girl House. Meredith's bar mitzvah, when she was stirring up all that trouble of what Brittany said about Angie. And she goes, I'm just going to be messy. And Angie, Brittany said that.
I mean, we know that Bronwyn does this because she does it every episode. I think Lexi Lane pretty much covered it up. She can't be trusted. And she's proven that. You don't have to choose a side when you come into chaos. You don't have to give in. You just don't. And she chose to. Another person who's doing that is Mary, but I'll get to that later.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So after this contentious car ride, the ladies all get ready. And they're going to, see the show that Stella has put together based on all their individuals' inputs of each other. But at first, when they get there, they didn't know where the hell Angie had them going. They were like, Angie, what the hell is this? Why does it look like Mary said, this place looks haunted. Like, this place looks like we're going to see a ghost or something. And I just laughed at Mary's so crazy. So Angie has, food and everything. And she's kind of baiting the ladies, like, what y'all think gonna happen? What y'all think's about to go on? And so as they're eating and everything, the show begins, where they're all kind of having each representation of each other. So literally hired an actress for everybody. And as the ladies are sitting down, she starts off with Heather and how it was Mary kind of assassinating Heather's character by saying that she's a joke actor and that's scary. And when I tell y'all, I fell on the floor laughing. And even Heather had to laugh her damn self because that shit was funny. Heather is a joke. Heather is a joke. Now, Raptor Mascara, I don't know. I wouldn't have went that far. But definitely, that was pretty much spot on. And I laughed until I cried because it was like, damn, she didn't have to eat Heather up like that all the way. And it constantly became a slew of insults. Brittany had that, when it comes to, you being a man, you'll push your children out to the background, which is true. And Brittany was, she was trying to keep it together. You could tell she was trying not to cry because to have that perception about her, she really does not accept that. And it's like, but it's true. Lisa's was, you hide behind, your labels, you hide behind having money, like you're just, and you have a joy being the leaders. And as they're playing, the actresses are playing it, and the moderator is telling the story. We see all the ladies giving Stella the information. So Stella isn't wrong about it. She's just writing it in the story to where in the Greek territory, this is how this would land. And I thought it was great. I'm not gonna cover everybody's because it was kind of, you know, pretty much how everybody feels. But one that stood out to me, and I'm asking Mrs. Best this opinion. One that stood out to me actually was Mary when it came to Brittany. Now, when we see them two, Mary says, I like everybody except for her. And Brittany was like, I want to love her. I want to like her, but I feel judged. And I feel like she just does not give me that chance. And the reason why that hit me is because we just watched Mary's documentary about, something that Mary said about her mother in the season. The sister just validated it. And I think and I've said this before, I think that Brittany really does represent Mary's mother and what Mary's mother's did. And it's hard for Mary to separate that. Is it mean? Yes. Is that Brittany's fault? No. I mean, at the end of the day,
it's that deep. I just don't think Mary liked that lady. I think Mary has great discernment regardless of any of that. I know her mom was not there like that, but after watching the documentary, she had somebody there. So I'm sure that she can be easily triggered by things, but even before they knew anything about Brittany's kids and the situation, Mary did not like this lady. So I just don't think, I think maybe a small piece of it could trigger her, but realistically, you're not going to be that impacted if you understand psych a little bit. However, I don't know. I just feel like she don't like Brittany because Brittany, when we look at Mary, when she's most agitated by Brittany, it's when Brittany is crying about shit after getting piled on, after coming for these ladies or saying something stupid. So I just feel like they all don't like Brittany, honestly. I actually
you think so?
I don't think any of them like Brittany.
Okay.
And that's why I kind of respect Brittany, even though she gets on my nerves. I kind of respect her for staying on this show because it's very clear nobody liked her and nobody really got her back. Lisa
I think she's
turned
oblivious. I think she's oblivious.
I feel like it's the same situation with her daughters. She's going to act and come off as oblivious, but the reality of the situation is Brittany don't care because she's on camera and she getting a check.
Okay.
It may not be a big check, but I don't know. It just seems if you can ignore your children and still then need constant reminders about what you did to them, as if the reminder is not them not fucking living with you. Like, I really think this lady is aware of stuff and just does not care.
Interesting. Was there anyone's story that you got stuck on that you were like, well, damn, did you have to reveal that?
No, they said the same shit that they said last season with that stupid truth telling when Lisa walked out. And then the season before that, when they tried it again. And then the season before that, at the table when Monica was exposed. This is the same shit that they do every season. At the finale too. It's not just every season, but they're also doing the shit at the same time every season. So at this point, it's disingenuous. It's tired. It's old. I need more entertainment. Housewives of Salt Lake City is highly entertaining, but at the same time, sometimes I feel like it's highly overrated because y'all doing the same shit over and over and over. And realistically, nobody is going to keep suggesting we all get at a table and say the truth about how we feel about each other. You know that none of you heifers are going to say nothing positive. But kudos to Angie for being creative and trying to put it into a play.
Yeah, this was kind of fun. I ain't gonna lie, I had time of my life with some of this. I'm gonna read some of the comments. Rose said the time she did Running Man on that yacht last season, this was hilarious, and I will give her a chance. But so we talking about Brittany, and I don't know where I stand with Brittany. I don't like her, but I don't dislike her either. I think she's needed for some odd reason.
She's like annoying, almost like a younger sibling when they're like really annoying, but you still kind of love them. Brittany is not, I can't say that I dislike her, but she's definitely annoying. But I do agree with James. She is definitely needed. Without Brittany here, they don't have anything that they can lean on to make the show interesting, because all they do is run to blogs and run away from each other.
It's giving me Marlo season 9 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, if that makes sense.
Naya called her a fruit fly.
She does like attention. Yes, she does. And I would love to know more of her backstory, because it seemed like she had both her parents. It seemed like she had a good life coming up in,
Them be the people who grew up with both their parents, the people who come from parents that were married for 50 years, the people who have those lifestyles that we think are the best. They always end up with some kids doing some fuck shit, some stupid shit. Well, I tell you, if you go to San Francisco right now, half of the people on the streets, the crackheads doing the Fenny lean, half of them come from rich parents somewhere in Michigan, Utah, all over the country. And a lot of them do come from Utah. It's quite a skip.
Mm-hmm.
I got 4 clients that came out of Salt Lake, told me their parents is Mormon. They had great lives. And that's part of the reason they ran away to San Francisco and now on drugs. So you would be surprised. The good upbringing in 2-parent household is not the key to raising a good kid. Because look at Brittany, you think she'd come out good?
Yeah, not all aspects are bad. It's just the paternal.
You ain't shit if you a woman and you a mama and you just out here ignoring your kids for some dick.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. The paternal part of her is fucked up, but everything else, and the fact of her needing a man, that's also crazy too. But it seems like everything else worked for her career and everything else, worked. So she's able to get a spot on this show. Well, not a full-time spot, but you know what I'm saying. So moving on from the, talent show portion, the ladies were sit to self and reflect about their lives. Brahmins, as we said, she said that she feels like what she got out of this, that she's not loyal. She's not loyal to anybody. Her upbringing has a huge part of that. And I understood what she was saying, but at the same time, you can't always make an excuse for that, because, man, you're in your 30s. So at the end of the day, you got to take some responsibility for that you don't show up that way because you choose not to show up that way. You have resources. You have things to get you help and things to get you through life. I'm sure she's doing it now, but she had the funds. And there's people who don't have those resources that cannot get that, keep falling into mistakes. And I just like, for me, when you have resources, there's no excuse. Especially when you know there's a problem. Lisa was like, and hers cracked me. Her little takeaway was so fun. I was trying not to laugh, but Lisa is so ridiculous. She goes, I look at what I have as just accomplishments because I work so hard. I work very hard to be where I'm at, to have the things that I have, my rings and my Cartier watch. I work real hard for that because growing up, I had to look after my younger sisters and, make sure they had everything that they needed.
Was stealing your sister's man part of looking out for her? I just want to know. I didn't go. So my younger sister's 2 years younger than me. She was at high school, like for some of it when I was there, but I would never do what Lisa did to her sister. Not only did you steal her man, but you married him and had a baby and then paraded him on television showing his lack of parking skills. Like, stop playing with us. I don't understand Lisa, but Lisa is funny. I saw online on the Facebook today, I saw somebody compare Lisa to Teresa Giudice, and I was like, this is actually a good comparison.
It is. I didn't think about that.
I don't think Lisa is going anywhere from this show, and how shallow she is almost ridiculous, but she's also entertaining because we want to see how she handles falling, because she's gonna fall. It's a slow fall, but if they don't ask about them fucking lawsuits at the reunion.
What's funny? I was going to bring that up at the end of this, but this is good, since we're talking about Lisa. It's funny how all that went away. It's funny how after Lisa had that sit down, said it was all dismissed within that time, and I don't even know if today's time, I don't know, I'm going to say allegedly, it's still going on.
How is it that Mary Cosby is trending and having to explain herself in certain situations because of a documentary featuring content that we learned about in 2020? Like, we learned about this shit during COVID. It was so long ago. That's going viral today in 2026. But Lisa's lawsuits from 2025 that have ongoing into 2026, they don't want to talk about no more. but they want to talk about the black lady. That's why Mary left this show the first fucking time. I want to hear about Lisa's lawsuits. I want Heather to be questioned on Jen Shaw being free and her eye. I want Meredith to let us know if she's staying or going from the show. I want Whitney and Bronwyn to tell us the truth because their marriages is done. Done. Like super fucking done. I just want everybody to be honest. But
yeah, it's funny how, when we get on Mary, we have to stick on Mary. Everything got to stick. But with the other ladies, they can have all kind of shit going on, and we, it goes away, it withers away. But Meredith goes, the Meredith says, growing up, words matter. I had to use my words a lot of the time because if I didn't use my words, nobody in my life would understand me. And it was hard to not be understood unless you use your words and everything. And everyone was like, well, okay, well, why can't you use your words with us and let us in so that way we could be there for you versus you saying I'm disengaged and shutting down. And she goes, yeah, but you guys don't understand. I am afraid. My laptop don't want me to be great, y'all. My laptop don't want me to be great. Lord have mercy. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, guys. Sorry. I've lost reception. I've lost internet. I've lost everything.
I figured you did. Naya said, did I crash? That's what I thought at first. I was about to cuss AT&T out something vicious because I'm looking for a reason to get a discount on my bill.
Y'all, I don't know what just happened. We had a plane fly low, and when it went away, literally I lost everything. So I had to wait till the motherfucker left. I still hear it, actually.
You know what? Not a plane fly low.
No, so you know how, because I don't live far from the Army base, and they're all flying in right now. So, that just annoyed the hell out of me. Where was I, y'all? Mary, right? Was that where I was at? Because I lost my note. We just going to continue with Meredith excuses herself to go to the restroom. How's that sound? Because I don't know where I left off at. I was in a row, and by the time I noticed I had lost internet, I don't know where I was. But we don't know. Meredith excuses herself to go to the restroom. And once Meredith go off, everyone's like all confused and like, why, won't she open up? And Meredith's like, why don't y'all just tell her? Just tell her what it is. Why are y'all running from her? Why are y'all so scared? Tell me y'all think something wrong with her. Tell me y'all think that she crazy. Tell her something. Heather's like, yeah, but Mary, the thing about it is we love her and everything. But tell her that too. You can tell her you love her, but hell, tell her, something wrong with her. So Meredith walks back and was like, okay, so what is the goal here? What are we doing? Mary said, Meredith, we're worried about you. We are worried about you. Your behavior is something different than what I know your behavior to be. And Meredith was like, my behavior is fine. Everything is fine. And this is where Bronwyn decides to pipe up and said, Meredith, look, I'm just going to be honest with you. What happened at that lunch is I had said I had saw Seth. He was at lunch with another woman. And Lisa got up and Lisa, whoa. Hold on. That's too much. No. Y'all not going to do this. Y'all not going to say that's way too much. And Mary's like, no, it's true, though. This is what she saw. Like, what are we doing? And Mary was like, no, it's okay. I am disengaged. Listen, my husband is 100% faithful to me. I'm 100% faithful to him, and this is nonsense. Everything is great in my life. I don't have any problems. I'm not on anything. Everything is fine. And you know what? I am going to leave this trip. I am going to leave right now. Okay, thank you, Angie, for a lovely night. I am gone. I am gone right now. So Mary walks up to her and said, Mary, don't leave. Look, don't leave. No, Mary, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. And Lisa goes, that's crazy that she would do that. That's crazy that she would say that and everything. That's crazy. And Heather was like, okay, well, why don't y'all just be gone? Why don't y'all just leave since everything is crazy and we're crazy? Why don't you guys just be gone? Just go ahead and leave. And Mary said, yeah, I am going to leave when I get my car service. I am going to leave. And Lisa had enough. Lisa like, why would you bring that up? Like, why would you say that about her marriage? And Rama said, I did not say anything about her marriage. I said I saw Steph out with somebody. And it just goes on and on. All the ladies were just, you had some crying, you had some to know which way to move, you had some that was trying to go into invisible Ubers. It was way too much drama for me, and I was laughing the entire time because it was like, how the hell did we even get here in the first place? How do we go from Meredith, we don't think you're okay. Meredith, we don't think you're wrong. To now we talk about her husband cheating on her. Now we talk about like, what? I mean, like Lexi Lee said, did they expect her to open up and say, yeah, he's cheating on me? Damn it, that woman is his girlfriend. And yes, we've been separated again. And you don't really expect her to open up to y'all when y'all are literally like on her neck about something.
I just want to say that Mary had her little quad Luther King moment. She could have joined the Married to Medicine cast with that speech. Aren't you going to tell her something? Tell her you love her, then tell her. I said, Mary
thought she was preaching.
She thought she was preaching. She really did. And it was aggressive, just like the way she preached. It was real aggressive. I'm looking at Mary. I'm like, why are you doing all of this? Like, you are the one person on the cast who we know has a lot going on in your personal life to not care. Like, I get that Mary's back. She's engaging. I've actually enjoyed Mary this season, but I also feel like there's moments this season more than others where Mary's just bullshitting going along to get along so people don't ask her about what she has going on in her life. Still love Mary Cosby. But if you was really Meredith's friend, Mary Cosby season 1, season 2 would have pulled Meredith aside privately away from these women. We probably would have heard of a conversation off camera. Like something different would have happened. But now Mary is sitting up here talking and giving advice to the bitch she called inbred, the one she called bobblehead. Angie gets a pass because I know they cool. But I'm just looking at her like, what? Y'all are not friends. Meredith was right to walk the fuck away.
I agree. Like in this instance, the one time I would agree with Meredith was to walk away because first of all, nobody is saying what this behavior is. No one is saying how her behavior is different from the previous years we have known Meredith. Meredith has been the exact same way from season 1 up until now.
Unhinged Karen that prides herself on behavior that she does not display, which is class and a certain calmness, and that's okay. But Meredith gets on my last nerve as well. But she didn't deserve the pylon, and I also feel like if you keep saying the same thing to somebody the entirety of this whole fucking season, which is months, and they are not acknowledging it and refuse to see your point of view, at what point do you accept the term, we are going to agree to disagree and move on from it? They keep coming at her about it. Let it go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the only time Meredith is unhinged is when somebody is fucking with her. That's the only time I've seen Meredith really just go on the hinge. There's probably been 1 or 2 exceptions. I'm gonna give her that exception with Angie when she threw Angie out of her event. That's one instance where I feel like Meredith was just doing too fucking much. And there may have been one other time up in there somewhere that I'm not remembering right now. But I just feel like I need them to expand on what in her behavior is different than what the viewing audience is not seeing. And production, I blame y'all for allowing them to run with this narrative without having anything to back it up. Because I need to know, what are we looking at that's supposed to be out of ordinary for Meredith? Because to me, this is right on par. This is exactly who I've known her to be.
Too, Meredith is being pretty much accused, it seems like, of treating Brittany in a way that is inappropriate or would be viewed as bullying, like doing too much with Brittany. Why does that warrant her doing something to one person should not warrant 5 other people coming at her at once about it over and over and over and over again? As quiet as it's kept, people may hate me and cancel me for this opinion. Brittany's a grown-ass fucking woman. I hate a weak-ass bitch. You should be able to stand up to somebody and for yourself. Because I promise y'all, if that was me in that seat, Meredith would not have been talking to me crazy. I either would have switched my seat, and if she kept talking, I would have got up. I would have been spilling my free ginger ale the plane give. When walking by her, I would have been coming out the bathroom, not drying my hands, rubbing it all on her hair and clothes. I would have been doing all sorts of little stuff. You want to play, bitch? You want to harass me? I'm going to harass you right the fuck back. We're going to have a full flight. So Brittany not standing up for herself and just crying, that also is old. But the women need to let Brittany stand for herself, and they need to really, if you don't have the shit on camera and nobody recorded it, and you know that you're going to discuss this as a storyline, why would y'all do that? That's how you know they just looking to do whatever they can to make the show interesting without them having to share anything. I'm over it.
At the end of it, I cannot believe I'm defending Meredith. I cannot believe me, of all people, defending Meredith. But like Mrs. Best said, they are hanging on to dear life of this storyline of Meredith versus Brittany on a plane that we did not see. Nobody has footage of. Nobody has audio of. Nobody has nothing of. So how do we become objective to being on either or side when we don't have anything to judge that with? So for me, as I said, until I see otherwise, like Mrs. Bett said, Brittany is a grown-ass woman.
She should have defended herself.
And she should have defended herself.
Crashes out. Meredith always crashes out. But the way that Meredith crashes out, she is known for the I'm disengaging and walking away. So how is the lady who usually gets overwhelmed and can't handle conflict, which is why I used to want her off of the show, how is she suddenly having the strength to harass and bully somebody, as Lexi Lee said, for 4 straight hours? I'm sick of it.
And nobody said anything. Nobody said, okay, well, let's move this lady's seat, or one of you other ladies, why don't y'all switch seats with her so that way she doesn't have to endure this? Like, nobody did anything.
The problem is too many Christian liars on this goddamn cast. They need to recycle some of these hoes. That's the problem. Because they keep lying about stuff that they don't even need to lie about. Because I really don't believe that happened for 4 hours on a plane in first class. Especially.
Well, here's the thing. Let me kind of pull that back a little bit. So, Brittany sat right at number 4 of this picture. Lisa number 5 and 6. So she couldn't have switched seats with Angie, who was sitting up at number 1, or Mary at number 4, since she's cool with Lisa and Meredith. She had to sit there for the entire 4 hours. If this really did happen. I'm just saying. Y'all, come on. Like, this is not rocket science. She could have easily switched seats, or Meredith could have switched seats with Mary or something like it could have been resolved. But the fact that we didn't see anything, we don't know what happened. So it's like, y'all really carried this on all this fucking time with no fucking proof. So by the time the reunion, I need to see something.
This was a weak-ass season finale. And in all honesty, I was entertained throughout the season. But if you get down to the plots, should we call it, there's so many holes in them, no evidence of them, nothing on camera. Now, Bravo already told these hoes they can't see the show until the show airs, so they can't talk to the blogs and stuff. Maybe Bravo needs to change some other things around, because the way that they did this, if the shit wasn't filmed, don't let these hoes talk about it.
Right. I'm
sick of it. And if we don't see no footage at the reunion, I'm gonna be mad.
I'm cussing everybody out, from Andy to production to the ladies. I'm cussing everybody out because at the end of the day, we spent 5 or 6 episodes on this shit and nothing to go off of it. And this is another thing. Heather says she slept the entire fight, but remembers everything that happened. I don't trust Heather. I don't trust Heather saw anything either, which is why I have a hard time believing this story. Y'all understand?
Mary lied too. Mary said that she was asleep at first for much of what happened, and then she says that she woke up and could hear it all loudly. And then when I look at her seat, I said, interesting.
Yeah, let's look at it again. It's way in the corner over there, y'all. Way number 4, way on the left. So, I believe something happened, but I don't believe it was that.
It wasn't that deep.
I don't believe it was that deep. I don't believe, and once again,
look, Portia just went on a plane and had a run-in with a Karen in first class. It was all over the news. People say, "Oh, Portia, the federal government's investigating her." It turned out to be a whole Karen. If something happens on a plane, somebody's going to catch it. Because even if you're not in first class, you could hear what the fuck's going on in first class, depending on where you're seated in the other sections of the plane. So they all lied. Planes be full.
Oh, Lexi Lean.
That
don't surprise me at all. But then I'm looking at Mary because Mary was leading the brigade as well. So Mary.
I've been telling you all season, James, though I like Mary, and I've been saying this before the documentary came out. She came back on TV on some bullshit. She said, "I'm going to fake it till I make it and get along with these inbred looking assholes so that she could keep her check." Why are y'all letting my husband laugh?
Yeah, because you're wrong.
That's what Mary said. She looks inbred.
Mary didn't say it like that.
Well, I did.
Mary, yeah, because you know you're wrong for that.
Don't cancel me, y'all. I ain't got shit no way.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I'm just giving
y'all, I got a headache.
I'll be quiet.
This girl
you tell
over
me
here.
to come on here and cut up. And then when I do it, you be like, "Oh,
no. I be wanting you to do it, but I wasn't ready for that. Like, when I tell you, I wasn't
preparing
ready.
you. It was a thought, a feeling. I've expressed it, and I thank you.
No, cut up. But when I tell y'all, she caught me off guard with that one because I said, "Wait a minute, I was not ready." I know. I want you to do that, friend. I do. But I just wasn't ready. Like, I was listening.
I'm going to behave.
No, don't
My
behave.
manager said, she told me on Christmas, "Your mouth's always been fucked up." I said, "Wait, what?" I got away from this lady.
No, you just a very good crafty wordsmith. You just really are.
But it's true.
Very
not looked that way.
Yeah,
Mary came up with the word, not me. I'm just repeating it. I'm not crafty.
No, I know, but you had some sauce. You put some hot sauce on it. Don't act like you didn't. But anyways, yeah, that was pretty much the season finale. It was what it was. You know, they need to do something. My hope is that 3 of them don't come back and get replaced with 3 that need to come back. I need to get Monica back on here some kind of way. I would love to see a Monica versus Heather. So I will keep Heather if we see the Monica versus Heather. I need to see that. Especially because a lot of things have happened between the 2 of them off camera that I feel like, you know what, Heather, you want this check or leave the show. But Monica's staying. And also Monica versus Angie. I want to see that too, because them 2 left on sour notes. So I want to see that as well. So I need Monica back.
Every one of these ladies fulfilled. Call Monica. She just had a baby. She needs the check. This is the 5th one. Shit.
She started all over because I think 2 of them babies is grown now. So she started all over. She started all over again. I don't understand why women do that. Why start? I mean, she's young enough to do so. I think I'm older than Monica. So I feel like, why do y'all ladies do that? Like, literally have your babies, be on your best life, because you're going to be a grandmama soon. So just go ahead and just, live your life. Live the freedom you didn't have because you bear children. That's all. Just live the freedom you would have had because you're young enough to do. I was just telling one of my good friends that because her kids are going to be gone by the time she's 41. And I I said, don't you start over. Live your life. Go travel. Them kids will be all right. They're gonna be in college, up at somebody's university. Live your life. Go on some cruises. Hot girl summer. You know.
Not hot girl summer.
No. I be telling y'all, ladies, listen to me. If you still at a good 45 to 50 and your kids is grown, don't be looking at the time where you miss your kids, where you want to have some more. No. Because women are doing that, which is goofy as hell. Live your life. You done raised your kids. You done did what you're supposed to do. Now get some of that time back for you and go out there and just live it up and just be crazy, especially if you're single. Girl, just live a good time because we here for a short time. We just are. Live your life. Have fun. I'm not telling everybody to be a hoe out there, but I'm just saying, you know.
I mean, if you are a hoe, that's okay. Just,
Well, if you are a hoe, James is saying this officially but unofficially. If you are a hoe, hoe the correct way. And when I say hoe the correct way, I'm thinking, hoe the Anna Nicole Smith and Erica Jane kind of way. Where, just make sure they, not that much older than you. Maybe.
That's not the correct way.
What's the correct way to hoe?
If I got to imagine Morris Chestnut and close my eyes when you hitting it, I'm not hoeing correct. I'm just taking whatever money I can. That ain't the truth.
But usually it's the young ones that be stingy. See, them old ones know they got a lot to be fruitful for.
If
so that's
you
why they
put
give it.
enough at it, females, in my opinion, have so much more game than men could ever have. And if they do it right, they can snatch up the right one. I'm trying to tell you.
And y'all, and you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I'm not with him no more, but don't be in Michael B. Jordan's DMs because Miss Donna is checking them. She let y'all know she running through the DMs first. I don't know how Lori Harvey made the cut, but she running through them. She running through them DMs right now. She running through them DMs, so y'all can't be all up in them DMs like that if y'all ain't got nothing to show for. Miss Donna is checking them DMs, baby. She checking them DMs.
Harvey made the cut based on her family's wealth, I'm sure.
That don't make no sense because he got his own, but okay. But all right, but y'all, that was it. I'm glad that you found this live entertaining. We try. I'm telling you, we be trying to squeeze the juice out of a turnip when it comes to these women. We really do. We be trying. It'd be hard as hell, but we try it. And like my girl Nia said, if you a hoe, be a successful safe one. Absolutely. Because honestly, I'm at the time, we in tough times today. So if you hoeing, I ain't mad at you. If you stripping, I ain't mad at you. Hell, I'm about to get my ass up there in a minute. But wait till this knee gets all right. I'm just playing. But have a good night, y'all. I will see you guys on my next live, which will be Love and Mayor Shunsville, I believe. I don't think I have anything else on my roster unless I sneak and do a live somewhere. We will be on Mrs. Best channel for Love and Hip Hop Miami. This is going to be a great episode. We get to see Boots for 5 minutes. I'm excited about that because I ain't seen her. She ain't going to have 1 or 2 episodes, and that's it, So y'all make sure y'all not subscribed to Mrs. Best. Please subscribe to her. If y'all want to see the cult of the Real Housewives, the documentary that TLC led, and want to see our opinions, it is in my description box for y'all to take your view because remember, I don't cover TLC network. That is Mrs. Best channel. So if you guys want to see that, go ahead and click on her channel, subscribe, and watch us. It's a good review. We definitely gave our opinions, and we appreciate it. If you guys will check that out, get the numbers up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye now.